Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor podcast.
Why don't we get into what we like to do around here?
Right.
It's that time to talk about Bachelorette on our show! Yes, but before we get talking Bachelorette, you know what I need you to do, YouTube. I need you to go ahead and subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop new Bachelor or Bachelorette content, just like this. And if you just did, oh man, I just want to tell you, huge shout out to you. Air horns for you!
Oh, good.
Oh man, okay, well, V, now that we got that out of the way, why don't we get this episode out of the way? What's been going on this episode? There was a lot of craziness going on here. Where do we start? Week 6. We're week 6. Bachelorette.
Week 6. We're headed to Amsterdam. The guys are hyped. The girls are hyped in some ways. Jesse's hyped because he loves this city. That's all we get. Jesse... This is the most we've seen Jesse this episode, most we've seen Jesse all season. And if anything, he only adds stress or non-consequential information.
Yeah, like, he's an instigator. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Big
prodder. He's a prodder.
He pokes the bear, you know? He's out here poking bears.
Essentially,
right.
he's just like, yo, you know, you guys are excited. Hometowns are coming up, which it feels crazy that hometowns are coming up. Like,
I know.
You know,
it does feel quick, but I guess not really.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess. But yeah, I guess, like, you know, he comes in and he's all like, Rachel, you look excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Gabby, you look like
I love how he's like, you look emotional.
And she's like, yes, I am. And
she's like, yeah, bro, this isn't freaking easy. He's like, yep, I know. And like, that's pretty much like all he does.
Yeah.
He's just like, sounds like you guys have some tough decisions to make. And they're all like, yeah, thanks for nothing, homie. Like, bye.
Yeah. So, we start off with the guys all sitting around, right?
Getting their one-on-one date cards.
Yeah. They're getting their one-on-one dates. We get Gabby and Nate. These were just very interesting
picks for these one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they picked their favorite people and they were gonna like send them home if they weren't like ready for hometowns or something.
Kind of. That was the vibe. At first, I was like, okay, the strategy that they both seem to be taking is that these are people that are front runners that they really want to see, like, if they're worth, you know, the extra time. So, which I don't know. I mean, I get that strategy, and we'll see how it obviously plays out very different for both girls. But I don't know. You know, I don't know. But
I think about the guys and like the ones that haven't gotten a one-on-one date. Like, you have to be knowing you're going
the
home.
Tyler and Ethans of Rachel's group are all like, must be nice, Zach, that you're getting another one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like, and even Tino, who's had a one-on-one, is, you know, feeling a little butthurt because he's like, I wanted a second one-on-one. Like,
yeah.
If someone's getting a second one-on-one, it's me,
Yeah,
Tino.
I mean, they're just at the point right now. Yeah, Tino. They're at the point right now where everything is taken very personally.
Yeah, everyone's in their feels for sure.
Yeah.
So we start with Gabby and Nate on their one-on-one. And Gabby's already going into this heavy in her mommy issue feels. Like, she is feeling some kind of way. She knows she needs to talk to Nate more, and she knows she needs to just kind of make a decision about what that's going to look like, because, you know, if she is to continue on with him, bring him to hometown, do whatever, like, she's like, then she's actively going to be in his daughter's life. And she knows that that's a humongous step. It's more than, you know, just dating somebody and whatever.
It just seems crazy too that like there's all this like hoopla about Nate and his dating history just for him to, like, you know, essentially go home this episode. Like,
right.
And he didn't even get a date. Like, he didn't get a chance. Like, she was
no,
like,
he didn't even get a full, they walk around for a bit. He like takes his sweet time running up to her. They just do a quick little walkie walk, and she pretty much pulls him over to a bench and is all like, oh, we gotta sit. We gotta do this right
why
here.
was
right
Nate
now.
in Amsterdam during COVID?
That's what I want to know. That's what I asked during our tipsy talks. I was like, where was your daughter then, my dog? Like, who was watching her? Maybe her mom? Who's to say? I don't know. But, like, you know, he was like, yeah, I was here during the pandemic. Why? Okay, let me know. But anyways, they sit down and Gabby immediately starts like pretty much like almost having a full-on panic attack. She's sobbing. She's super upset, and she pretty much is all like, I just don't know if I'm going to be a good mom. And because of all my issues with my mom, like, that's my biggest fear. And, like, if I go, like, I really, really have deep feelings for you. And each time we hang out, they get deeper. And I just know that if I keep letting this happen, it's going to be way harder for me to cut this off later when, you know, when I know, like, at that point, she's like, I'll probably still feel unsure about just taking on somebody else's kid, you know, like being a bonus mom, and, or being like a motherly figure and everything like that. And so she's like, so, like, in so few words, she pretty much is like, so you gotta go, like, you gotta leave.
He handles it well as like you could.
It was emotional. I was emotional.
Yeah.
During watching this part, I don't know. Maybe it just struck a chord to me.
You know, I now that you say that, like, there was a moment where they just actually just sat with each other and just like kind of like embraced each other, and I was like, it was like the one time it kind of broke through to me. I'm like, yo, these two people, if they actually do like each other, like, this is like a moment in time, you know,
right.
A moment in time, and it's just like. You've had those moments before. Do you appreciate those moments in time? Like, you know, with people, like, you look back and you're like, forget them, like, you know, or whatever, like, they were shitty to me. But there's a moment in time where it was like, it was present, and it was you, and it was them. And so I did get that feeling as well. And
I think it just makes it harder because they both really, really like each other, and it is something that's more out of control for Nate at this point. Like, it's not like, you know, it's not like he can control how she's feeling about this. And she's even just like, I want to be like 110% ready, because I would never want to damage, you know, your kid, do whatever, with me not being ready for that role.
I don't know. It's a very interesting dynamic too, because it's like, you know, with the information outside of the show, right? You know, it's like, this is why he doesn't tell people he has a kid, you know, but it's like, of course you're going to have to tell, like, you have to tell, but it's like, I could understand why someone would like hide this information, because you would want them to like you and then be like, all right, well, I like him already, and now he has this kid.
Yeah, so. But that feels like, that just, someone who's been there, that feels just like, you're lying.
Yeah.
Like, you're hiding a large part of your life.
Yeah.
Like, that's not just,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying.
It's not like telling somebody who's like allergic to cats, like after you're already been dating for a while, that you have a cat. Like, that's different. It's like, this is a full, like, a child that you have, like, that you're responsible, like, for helping develop and things like that. It's just way different. Like, you know? Sure.
So what happens next?
Well, so obviously she, like, walks him for him to, like, leave. And all of her dudes are surprised that, like, his suitcase gets pulled. And
I mean, they were doing the math, though. They were like, you know, he's a great guy. He's ahead of the pack, but they knew also it could go this way. Like,
they were like, I mean, if she's bringing him on this date, this must mean either she's trying to, like, just spend more time with somebody that she's really into, or, you know, she's trying to make some big decisions. And she was making a big decision. So
yeah, I would have totally felt like that going in. I don't know, like, unless you're just like so high off of like you think like you're. I would just think that. I don't know if I was.
I mean, and obviously we've watched the show enough to know kind of like how that format works when it comes to choosing these dates and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. At this point, like, I feel like
because like if it was the other way, if she was like really just wanting to see him again, it's too strong of a statement to the rest of the guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, it's got to go this way. So yeah, anyways, like, the guys are discussing how she must be going through it. And then she comes in really sad and like breaks down about him with her other boyfriends and stuff.
Yeah, I think that was an interesting. I kind of liked it. Like, I kind of liked her being transparent, of being like, yo, like, this is what's going on. Like, you know, this is how I'm feeling. I just needed to let you know, like, that this is serious to me. And, like, I'm obviously trying to make decisions that are going to be best for me and the people that I'm here for, kind of deal. So I like it. I mean, definitely it is like a little bit of an ego stroke to be all like, let me go back to all these other dudes that are into me and be all and like and I'll be like, let me give you a hug, let me give you a hug, we've been thinking about you all day, you must be so hurt. So like, that's the ego stroke part of it. Totally.
Yeah, totally. I agree. So she's like, but we're gonna go out for a little date. Right?
Well, that was not yet.
Oh, okay.
Didn't Rachel and Zach's, they had their one-on-one before hers.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's the way they showed it. Rachel and Zach, you know, this is another one where I'm like, ooh, I don't know what's going to happen. But it ends up being a beautiful day. You know, Zach is just, you know, a great guy. You can't really...
Zach seems fun. He seems nice. He seems to have a good vibe with Rachel. And plus, they get the most picturesque date. They're in the tulip fields. Like, first of all, the camera work done on these tulip fields. The camera work done... I'm thinking about, like, how this must have been done earlier, back before, like, drones were so big and, like, things like that. But... you could tell there's a lot of drone work being used this season, especially with like all these shots of the boat and everything like that. But I mean, it's beautiful. They're like biking through the tulip fields. And of course, there just so happens to be a conveniently placed hot tub in these tulip fields. Like, what? Come on. What are we doing here? I wonder like what they had to go through to get that like set up. Because I know like those tulip fields, it's a big deal. It's like a thing. But
yeah, I mean, they were able to just like pick whatever tulips they wanted too.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I mean, they're only there for 2 weeks, right? It's like you're
something
taking up like a whole
that.
day.
Yeah, like their season is very brief.
Yeah.
Tulips are pretty expensive flowers too. But they get to their cocktail portion, and I don't know why Carrie has it out for, he's the stylist, why he has it out for Rachel in this like 1980s style dress. It is atrocious. It looks like something I used to play dress up in as a kid. Like that was like my mom's old bridesmaid dress from when she was in her sister's wedding. Like it looks exactly like that. My mom even replied to my Tipsy Talks on it. She's like, no, like that's exactly what it looks like. And I was like, yeah, thanks, Mom. But they do, like, they talk a little bit more because Rachel, the theme of this episode for Rachel, she's asking all of her dudes if they've ever brought somebody home before. And Zach pretty much just dives into the fact that he used to be bigger, he used to be fat, and, like, how he hated himself then, which is a lot of, like, internalized fat phobia bit. And so he's like, so pretty much, like, you know, I was going through it. I didn't, like, I hated myself. No one liked me, whatever. And then, of course, he drops the panty dropper word, therapy.
Yep. Yeah, and then they're just like, I mean, yeah, the panty dropper word. I mean, it is what it is these days. And he's just like, you're going to keep going, right? And she's like, oh, yeah. It's like her favorite part of the week.
I too love therapy. I don't go every week, but I go like every 2 weeks. But part of me, like, I want to love the fact that all of these, you know, seemingly straight men are going to therapy that have been on the show, because I'm like, yes. But also, like, part of me, I'm like, you guys better not just be saying this shit to say this shit to, like, get in these girls' pants. And also, like,
I believe him. I believe
Zach too. Zach seems like, you know, the kind of guy.
Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy that's going to get his heart broken at the end of this show. So
I know. Yeah.
So live it up, Zach. He gets his rose. He's going to hometowns.
First one to go to hometowns.
He's telling her that he loves her.
Yeah, he's saying that he's falling in love with her.
Yeah. You know, he's doing it right, you know.
He's really a top contender. Tino is watching his frickin' back, that's for sure.
I mean, he did look pretty good in those Polaroids they were taking and stuff.
Those are cute.
Yeah.
Those were cute.
For
I was like, damn.
So yeah, they end up dancing in the street. They got their fake bikers going back and forth, you know.
Dude, those bikers were almost going to hit them.
They're going around in circles or something like that, but they're trying to make it look like an authentic, like,
I'm pretty
busy
sure
street.
Amsterdam has the most bikes per capita or something like that.
Yeah, but they probably took that fact on a street they blocked off, and they're like, just keep going around. They took that fact,
put some extras in there, put some producers that they're all like, this is all you can do to make your meals today.
Yeah, it was like really romantic music too they were playing.
I know.
So yeah, that happens. Yeah, you know, then we get to the group date with Gabby. This one, you know, is definitely the guys weren't expecting it.
It's giving red light district vibes. It's giving dominatrix. They have like this chick who's I guess sort of like a dominatrix vibe to help lead it, because, you know, Amsterdam, people are feeling sexy, people are trying different things, and
people go to Amsterdam to have sex. People go to Amsterdam to have sex. Is that what
like
she's
with
saying?
prostitutes and stuff?
So they're just openly saying that.
Like, I mean, yes, sex work is a huge thing in Amsterdam.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, they bleeped out a couple things Gabby was saying, and they bleeped
out a couple of things that the dominatrix chick was asking these guys. Like, I think she was asking about, like, you know, going down. I think she was asking about different sexual acts. She was then asking about body count numbers, which I don't really know how I feel about that, but
it was funny though. Like, they made them all come up with safe words.
Yeah.
You know, it was just funny because there were one of them was Albuquerque, which
one of them was asbestos.
Asbestos. Oh my God, those were funny. Just like as they were coming up with them.
What would your safe word be, Si?
Actually, I thought of one, but
I thought of one,
but it's probably like. I don't know. I think
mine's meatball.
Meatball? Oh my goodness. Why does it gotta be food?
I don't know. I think that's just like something that's always top of mind. And like a lot of people, like the traditional one I feel like is always pineapple, which I'm all like, boo, hiss. I love pineapple.
Mine would probably be auto-tune.
I think that's great. That is on brand for you.
Auto-tune! So yeah. So the guys are, you know, starting to get into it a little bit if they are, and, you know, she's pouring hot wax on their bodies.
I feel like this part felt iffy to me. I'm like, she has them blindfolded. Did they consent to being okay with anything that could be just
I mean, she's like straight up stepping on them with her heels and stuff.
I know, which some people are into that, Si. That's like a real kink.
Oh, man. I am too, like, my pain threshold is not high.
Yeah, you wouldn't do well with a dominatrix. I don't think that's your thing.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's just there was a time where someone would like bite me, and I'd be like, could you stop biting me? or like the nipple. It's like, no, nipple needs to be loved.
I know she put like a nipple clasp thing on one of the dudes. I think it might have been Logan.
I got sensitive skin. I bruise easy.
Oh my God, you little peach.
But I could give out a spanking. Anyways,
all right, calm down. This wasn't your date.
Anyways, yeah. So the guys,
they're having a good time.
Yeah.
They're all supposed to be, you know, getting ready for the cocktail portion. Gabby's got her little dress on, ready to rock and roll. And guess who freaking comes to her door?
Who? Jesse.
Yep,
I knew that. I watched the episode.
That mother effer.
You had me at suspense. I was like, wait, I know this answer.
I know, you kind of like, you really went with it.
I know. I was like, who? Well, because I thought like maybe because there was some weird shit happening in the episode, like guys disappearing and stuff. I was like, what?
Yeah, all the dudes were like, we don't know where Logan is, blah, blah, blah. And then Gabby's about to go down to this date, and Jesse's all like, yo, we have a situation.
What, Logan was on the group date?
He was, earlier in the day,
so
yeah.
What, you think he was like not feeling well?
Maybe.
Afterwards?
Must have. They must have, I'm sure they have like very strict COVID protocols. So he must have been like, yo, I'm feeling some kind of way.
So this is where like
we gotta test you, mother.
This is where like, yeah, what is happening with the show now? So does he just get an automatic rose this week for getting COVID?
No.
Wait, I mean,
No. He gets COVID. They cancel the cocktail party because like in abundance of caution, because they just want to make sure. I think they had to make sure they tested everybody else again, whatever. They didn't want everybody to be like hanging out, spreading anything potentially. Everybody else seems to be fine when we finally get to the rose ceremony in a bit. But no, it was very strange because I'll just hop ahead to rose ceremony in this sense. But
do you think they like stalled
they literally
production?
just like just gone. They just kicked him off. Like they just were all like, he's not joining us for the rest of our journey anymore.
Oh, really?
So like, I guess because of like the timing of everything, I guess they're all like, we can't. I don't know how that discussion went.
I didn't get that. I didn't see that part. Like I thought
because
they just
they slipped it in real subtle, like pretty much you see Gabby before the rose ceremony, like being like, oh, I have decisions to make, thinking that Logan might still be in the mix and that she has to think about that because he has COVID or whatever. But then they literally flashed to the rose ceremony and they're like, because Logan, like Nate, because I sent Nate home and because Logan, isn't joining us for the rest of the journey. I was like, wait, what? How do they get this man off the boat? Or is he just still on the boat? What's going on?
Yeah, I thought maybe they stopped production for like a couple days or something and picked it back up and we didn't really see all that. But, okay, so Logan's gone.
Just gone.
Unceremoniously, like
just literally, we build up all this.
They just like throw him off the boat or something.
I don't know. And we build up all this drama about him switching spots and whatever, just for him to be gone, just for him to be outie. Yeah. Like, sorry, I got sick. No more love for me. Like,
damn, man.
So anyways.
Yeah, before we get that far, like, let's get to Rachel's group date.
They go to this like little city town, whatever, called Edam, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's known for cheese. Cheese capital of the world. Okay. They've got all these different cheeses that they're trying. All these dudes are little baby back bitches, and they're all talking about how they should have taken their Lactaid and whatever because like their stomachs are going to be hurting after all this cheese. And I'm all like, do better. I don't know. Like, buck up, Buttercup. Like, I don't know what to tell you about that. Like, this is the price you pay for love, especially the love of an Italian woman. Mm-hmm. Because even if she's lactose intolerant, she's eating the cheese. There's just no two ways around it. Like, there's too much good cheese in this world.
Say cheese again.
Cheese.
So yeah, they have this competition of like stacking up cheeses and holding on their shoulders.
Holding them and stuff.
And the guys, like, it's funny because like all the guys that are ripped, like, Tino's like, these guys work out a little bit more than me.
Tino looks kind of built though too. So I'm like, what are we talking about?
I mean, he's
here?
just not like ripped, like, like he's
Tyler surprised me because he's got such a baby face. Yeah. But his body is nice.
Man, you girls go crazy for some abs.
I mean, not always though. I don't really care that much.
People will be all like, I want to lick those abs, or I want to eat off.
I do. You say people like it's not me. Like it's me. It's me who said that.
You people.
It's me. But that's like Michael B. Jordan because like specifically.
Okay. Anyway. Well, I've lost my appetite. But yeah, so Tino ends up coming out on top. Like he's negotiating with guys. Like, you put yours down first, I'll put mine down right after you put yours down. And he ends up winning the competition. He's on top of the world, feeling good. Rachel goes and consoles everybody and is like, "You all right? You okay?" And yeah, I mean, that's about it for the date. They have their night portion. I think maybe they were concerned they weren't gonna get a night portion because maybe Gabby didn't, because Tina mentioned something like how important it was to have the nighttime, right? Because this is the hometown rose that you're getting if you didn't go on to one-on-one. So he has a conversation with her that's like, "You're the one. I'm so about you," and other people are, anything else really come out of this?
Pretty much, it seems like Tino was gonna get the rose. Like he's like saying stuff, asking her questions mid makeout, and you could tell Rachel's like, just freaking keep kissing me, dog. Like I don't want to talk. Like I think she like knows where she's at with Tino, but Tino is definitely looking for that reassurance because he's like, I want to be on top. I want to be on top. I want to be on top. And she ends up giving her rose to Tyler because I guess her and Tyler sort of bonded a little bit more in the after part. She like talked and consoled him more because he had his arms all ripped up from the holding the wooden thing with the cheese.
And maybe she saw his abs too.
And maybe she was like, "Whoa, you surprised me too. You've got these tatties and you got these abbies and
You got the abbies and the tabbies. I'm gonna go see your family."
Yeah.
So, I think it goes back to having the rose distribution. Like, you can't just be giving your rose to Tino every time. Like, you've already, and this guy's getting obviously full of himself. I mean,
Right,
you said
obviously.
you said it earlier. After like homeboy gets the rose, homeboy is like, he's being a real baby back bitch. It was hilarious the way he said it because he was over in the dark in the corner, just like spinning out.
He's literally like, he just gets, after Tyler gets the rose, Tino like just stands up and he's all like, "Congrats, really," and just like walks off.
Yeah.
And is like talking with producers and everyone else is like, "Really, dude, like you're gonna be like that?"
Now some guys are throwing him some bail for, because he won today.
I know some of them were like, he did win. Like, I could get how he would see that he would get the rose, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it's more than just winning some cheese challenge.
Yeah, he was being a real baby back bitch. So I thought that was hilarious. I think he comes around, he admits that he was being a real baby back
I know.
bitch.
I liked that Ethan, so like before the rose ceremony, Ethan talks with him on the bow of the boat, or whatever you call that part of the boat, about, how they felt a little disrespected by his behavior and everything like that. And Tino does kind of, fess up to being like, yeah, like I obviously got in my head. I let my feelings get ahead of me. And like, that's not fair of me to do that to like you guys. And, even, how that could look to Rachel and everything like that. So I think I liked seeing that little conversation go down. And I think that was, good.
Yeah. Well, it was the famous last words for your boy Ethan, because we get to this rose ceremony.
We all knew Ethan was on the chopping block.
Yeah.
There hasn't been enough time between
Well, I knew
them.
he was on the chopping block when he almost, he almost won, right?
He was second place to
And
Tino.
he should have kissed Rachel in that moment. I felt like when she came over,
Should have tried.
Yeah, at least tried, but he didn't. And we get to the rose ceremony. Very confusing rose ceremony for me.
It was a weird way that they did it. It's like they did almost all of Gabby's first. Well, because like you get there, Logan's not there, and because they just barely slipped in how he just is gone, no explanation really besides the fact that he had COVID. It's just weird. And then obviously Nate's gone, and they just like the way that they either showed us or how it was filmed or whatever, with how they pretty much like Gabby all go first and then Rachel and whatever. It was very strange. But also Gabby only gets, because I think of the whole sending Logan home, or Logan had to go home bit, she only has 3 roses instead of 4, and Rachel has 4. Well, I mean, technically, one of them is already 2 of them are already taken by Zach and Tyler, so she only has 2. But like in total, they have 4 roses. You know what I'm saying. But yes.
So the guys that go home are.
So the guys that go home are Spencer and Ethan. So Spencer from Gabby's side and Ethan from Rachel's side. So that leaves us with Team Gabby being Jason, Johnny, and Eric. So, which this is interesting now because none of these guys I felt like were as strong of a connection with Gabby as Nate was. So I'm like, where's this guy? How's this going to, work out? And then the team Rachel is Tino, Tyler, Zach, and Avon. Avon is still hanging on.
So Gabby only has 3 guys going home.
Right.
Interesting. So you think Logan was going to go?
Logan might have, maybe. I mean, potentially.
See, I would have thought.
Which would have been wild.
If the fact that she sent Spencer home, she just really wasn't feeling that.
No, she just wasn't feeling Spencer.
But I was thinking like maybe they just sent Logan home over COVID because she wasn't going to pick him anyways.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I mean, they didn't really have enough time to meet family, I guess,
Yeah.
Well, it was worth a shot. And we get some scenes of next week's episode where we meet the parents, and it looks like Tino is going to have an uphill battle. It looks like Zach is killing it.
Looks like Zach does well. It looks like Tino's family like kind of goes at Rachel a little bit about, you know, wanting to make sure that he finds the right person and not somebody who's going to like screw him over, which I was like, damn. I'm trying to think about like Gabby's side. I'm like trying to remember if there was anything that stood out a lot.
I didn't really see, and that's not a good sign because like I'm like looking at these names. I'm like, who are these people again?
I know. I feel like, especially the Jasons and Johnnies, I feel like there might be a self-elimination coming, not next week, but maybe the week after. I feel like somebody's gonna be like, I'm not, you know, I can't do this kind of deal.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our week 6 recap. Anything else happening in Bachelor Nation?
Yeah, so Kaitlyn Bristowe and Jason Tartick, I guess, are having to push their wedding. They were originally planning on getting married New Year's Eve, but they're realizing that they have a lot of differences when it comes to, you know, how they want their wedding to look and things like that, which I wonder, you know, Kaitlyn already was like trying to plan a wedding with a different person for a while, and then that obviously no longer because her and Sean Booth, right? Sean Booth?
Yeah.
Broke up.
They wanted like a New Year's Eve wedding and their venue.
I hate people who do New Year's Eve weddings. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess part of me is all like, at least then I have plans because New Year's Eve is such an overrated holiday. But then part of me is all like, ugh, it's so fucking annoying.
What is annoying about it?
I think it's just also like annoying to then have to, it's not a easy, super great time. It's like right around the holidays. So like getting, maybe if you're somewhere else for Christmas and stuff and like trying to get to.
When is the perfect time to get married though? All of it is so lame.
There's no good.
You know, it's like, let's pick the perfect looking number date. Like, you know, it's just like, or whatever. I mean, I could see like it being a special day, like in your family or something like that. Like that's something I can get. But like for just like when people are like, we need to get married on 2/2/2/2/2, like, you know, if that's even a day.
I had friends that got married on what would be their, I guess it was like their 5th dating anniversary, and that landed on a Thursday, and I was like, y'all, really? At this point,
oh yeah. If you're getting married in the middle of the week for a date, lame. No offense. But yeah, I mean, it's close enough to the weekend, I guess. But yeah. So anything else? Yeah.
So you know, these two keep coming back like a bad penny. Kelley Flanagan and Peter Weber were spotted in Chicago at a Chicago Cubs game. Which is surprising because like a year ago when they like really, really broke up, like Kelley was saying how she pretty much was like, get the hell out of my life. Like it was pretty messy at that point because they sort of like got like try to reconcile a bit back then. And then she was like, never mind. And like,
well, they were
got
gonna
all
move together and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then she like moved out. It was a whole thing. And so I mean,
Pete's like lame as shit. Like he keeps coming back to her because she's great.
Like what? Yeah. What can this dude? There's no good there's nothing great. Like I look at Pilot Pete and be like, how? Like how? Like what?
Just because
why?
You know, I guess because she's an eligible, literally a bachelor. You know, it's her claim to fame. It's one of those stories. Like it's like, you know, if they end up together, it might be good for them. You know, because they met before the show. They had a thing during the show. He dogged her on the show though, and then dogged her in real life like a couple times. And she's great. She's beautiful.
Dogging her.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he uses her, but
oh, for sure. I mean,
it's possible she could be doing the same thing.
Pilots are literally flighty. You know what I mean? Like they are literally flighty.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got for Bachelor Nation news. What do you guys think in the comments below? Do you think Pilot Pete and Kelley are, forever? Do you think they should, do the damn thing? What do you think about New Year's Eve weddings? Would you want to get married on New Year's Eve?
What do you think about Logan just pretty much disappearing into the ether after like a 2-week buildup?
Yeah, do you think Logan's still alive? Let
No,
us
he
know
is,
in the
'cause
comments.
He's commented and liked some of our Instagrams.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We know he's alive.
Send well wishes in the comments to Logan down below. I'm sure he's over COVID by now. But
yeah, because that was months ago.
yeah, I still worry though. All right, guys, that's what we got. We'll see you next week. Don't worry. We'll see you next week, week 7.
Future Bachelor Podcast.